You know, when you look at an ancient book, you're not just looking at words on a page. You're holding a piece of history, a kind of time capsule just packed with hidden stories. So today, we're going to be more than just readers. We're going to be historical detectives, and we're here to uncover the secrets locked deep inside the script. So on the surface, the definition seems pretty simple, right? A manuscript, or MS for short, is just a handwritten artifact. Could be a book, a scroll, even a single page. But let me tell you, that simple definition, it barely scratches the surface of what these incredible objects really are. I mean, what if we stopped treating it like just a container for words and started treating it more like a historical crime scene? An artifact that can reveal not just what was written, but how it was made, who handled it, and the unbelievable journey it's taken through centuries. And that, right there, is the heart of manuscript study. It's this amazing field where experts from all different backgrounds, historians, scientists, art experts, all come together to hunt for clues in the very fabric of the book. It's less about reading the words and way more about reading the object itself. For our little investigation today, we are opening up a really fascinating case file, the Abba Garima Gospels. Now, these are some of the earliest illustrated Christian manuscripts in the entire world, dating all the way back to the Aksumite Kingdom in Ethiopia. And believe me, they are an absolute treasure trove of clues. All right, let's kick off our investigation. You know, the first step for any good detective is to examine the physical evidence. And in our case, that means taking a really close look at the anatomy of the manuscript. The fancy term for this is codicology, but really you should just think of it as the forensics lab of manuscript studies. Codicologists are the ones analyzing the parchment, the ink, the binding, everything, really, to figure out exactly how the book was put together. And get this, before a scribe could even think about writing a single word, they had to go through this incredibly long and difficult process just to make the page itself. Turning animal skin into parchment was not cheap or easy. That right there tells you just how valuable these objects were from the very beginning. Okay, this is the level of detail we're talking about. It's so cool. Every single sheet of parchment has two distinct sides, a rougher hair side and a smoother flesh side. Scribes would painstakingly arrange these pages following what's called the Gregory rule, making sure hair always faced hair and flesh always faced flesh. Why? So that any open page would look perfectly uniform. A tiny detail, but a massive clue about the book's construction. So a manuscript isn't just a stack of individual pages. It's actually built from large sheets that are folded and nested together into little booklets called quires. Now, to keep all those quires in the right order, scribes used a brilliantly simple system. They just write the first word of the next quire at the bottom of the current one. It's like a perfect little navigational tool built right into the book. And here are the tools of the trade, what you'd find on a scribe's desk. You've got a sharpened quill, that special iron gall ink that literally bites into the parchment, tools for pricking tiny holes and ruling perfectly straight lines, and of course, red ink for all those important headings, a process that's called rubrication. Okay, so we've examined the physical evidence. Now it's time for phase 2 of our investigation. We've got to crack the code by deciphering the script itself. Welcome to the world of paleography, which is basically the study of old handwriting. And just like fashion or music, handwriting styles change over time and from place to place. For a paleographer, the shape of a single letter can be as telling as a fingerprint, helping them date a manuscript and pinpoint where it came from. Just take a look at how Latin script evolved over the centuries. You see this shift from the really clear, rounded Carolingian minuscule to the dense, spiky Gothic script that was designed to cram more text onto a page, and then finally to the humanistic script of the Renaissance, which was a throwback to Carolingian's clarity. Each style is totally a product of its time. Scribes were also masters of efficiency. I mean, they had to be. They came up with these complex systems of abbreviations to save time and, more importantly, that expensive parchment. They'd chop off the ends of words, take out letters from the middle, or use all these unique symbols. Cracking these little codes is a huge part of being able to read a manuscript. And this brings up a real challenge for modern scholars. How do you actually transcribe the text for people to read today? You could do a diplomatics transcription, which is a literal exact copy of everything, but it's super hard to read. Or you could do a normalized transcription, which makes it easy and accessible, but you lose some of that original flavor. It's a constant balancing act. But the margins, the margins are where the story gets really personal. This is where we find the literal fingerprints of scribes and readers. You've got mistakes that have been carefully scraped away, little dots under wrong letters, notes written between the lines, and my absolute favorite, maniculi, these tiny little hands drawn in the margin to point out something important. Okay, so we've analyzed the physical evidence. We've looked at the handwriting. Now it's time for phase 3. Putting all of these clues together to reconstruct the manuscript's life story and follow its chain of custody through time. This whole process is called tracing the provenance. It's basically the manuscript's biography, its chain of custody. Who owned it? Where has it traveled? Every little note, every repair to the binding, every library stamp is another clue in its unique journey. And to document all of this, scholars create a formal description. You can think of it like a police case file. The external description covers the physical object itself, its size, what the binding looks like, and the internal description details what's going on the page, the layout, the margins, the number of lines. This case file, this detective's logbook, is incredibly thorough. It includes the shelf mark, that's its unique library ID number, the collation, that's the formula for how all the quires are assembled, the script identification, and of course, a full list of its contents and its known provenance. Every single detail is recorded for the next detective. So where does this leave our investigation? Well, in our final section, we're going to look at the sheer number of cases that are still unsolved and the incredible new tools that are helping us crack them wide open. I want you to just think about this number for a second. 200,000. That is just the estimated number of Ethiopic manuscripts alone. Many of them are just sitting there, unstudied in remote monasteries and churches. This isn't just ancient history. It's a living, breathing field of discovery that is happening right now. And the new frontier for all this work is digitization. It's a total game changer. Projects are creating these amazing high-resolution digital copies, opening up historical cold cases to a whole global community of detectives. You don't have to fly to a remote monastery anymore to study these incredible artifacts. So you see, this story is far from over. With all of these historical time machines now available at the click of a button, the real question isn't just what we've learned. It's what secrets are just waiting out there for the next generation of detectives, maybe even you, to uncover.